In this video, we'll be hunting a box of nickels. We'll be looking for anything older than 1960, including Silver War nickels, Buffalo nickels, or anything older. We'll also be looking for any foreigns, proofs, errors, varieties, or any other cool things we can find. And this box does have one ender right here. It is just a 1958. Hopefully it's a good sign for the box. So let's start the hunt, and I'll bring you in when we have our first find. Roll 3, and we have our first couple finds. First is a 1941 out of Philly and a 1954 from Denver. Roll 9, another nickel from the 50s, and this one is a 1958 Denver. Next roll, and we have a couple finds that are actually right next to each other in the roll. First, a 1946 from Philly and a 1953 Denver. Just opened roll 12, and I see the edge of the first foreign of the hunt, and it looks like it's going to be a Canadian, and it is a 1985. Same roll as that Canadian nickel, and we have one more find for this roll, and it is another 1958 Denver. Next roll, and we have a couple more finds, both from the 50s. First is a 1953 Philly, as well as a 1955 from Denver. Once again, next roll, and we have yet another find from the 50s, and this one is in 1959, minted in Denver. Just opened roll 16, and I actually see the edge of two foreigns in this roll. First one I see is right here, which of course is a Canadian nickel from 1986, and then the other one I see is right here, of course another Canadian nickel, this one from 1983. Roll 18, and we have yet another find from the 50s, and this one is another 1954 Denver. Next roll, a couple more older Jefferson finds. First is a 1949 from Philly, and we have another 1958 Denver. Just opened roll 21, and I see the edge of another foreign. Already the fourth foreign of the hunt in 21 rolls, which is pretty good. And it's a beat up Canadian nickel, and it's from 1994. Roll 22 actually had quite a few finds, had 4 older Jeffersons. Oldest of the roll was a 1941 Denver, and it also had a 1948 Philly, 1953 Philly, and a 1957 Denver. That was a good roll. Next roll, and we have another nickel from 1953, and it's from Denver. Roll 24, and the older Jeffersons are going to continue. This roll had a 1947 from San Francisco, as well as a 1956 Denver. Roll 26, a couple more older Jeffersons. First, we have a damaged 1946 Denver, and we also have a 1957 that's also from Denver. Roll 27 was that 1958 Ender, and it is minted in Denver. Roll 29, another nickel from the 50s, and this one's just another 1959 Denver. Roll 32, another 40s nickel. This one is another 1941 Denver. Next roll, another nickel from the 40s, and this one is a 1946 Philly. Roll 34, and now we're 3 rolls in a row with a 40s nickel, and this one is a 1941 from Philly. Roll 35, and just like the last row, we have yet another 1941 Philly. Roll 39, and I already pulled out this 1959 Denver, and I thought it was just going to be a dirty coin, but Arson covered a 1943 35% Silver War nickel, and it is from Philly. It's a couple of varieties to the state. I'll check for them. This one's pretty worn though, but still, it's a 35% Silver War nickel, and that is an awesome find. Roll 41, and we have another find from the 50s, and this one is a pretty nice 1959 Denver. Roll 45, and we have another one from the 50s. This one is a 1952 from Denver. Next roll, and I'm not too sure how I missed the edge, but we do have the 5th foreign of the box. Another Canadian nickel, this one from 1994. Roll 48, yet another nickel from the 40s. This one is a 1947, minted in Philly. Nickel box has been hunted, so let's go over the finds. We ended up with 11 estimates, 5 foreigns, all were Canadian from the 80s and 90s, We did get one 2009 from Denver as well. Older Jeffersons, we got quite a lot in the box, a lot from the 40s and a lot from the 50s. Unfortunately, no 30s, no better dates really as well. We did get this nice 1959 Denver. And of course, the find of the box was that 1943 P 35% silver war nickel. Always a good find to see those in a nickel box. And overall, this was a good nickel box.